Hey, morning internet. Right, Z550, on we go. So, I was chatting about the bike last night and the problem that we encountered with the starter motor, or the seeming problem with the starter motor. And it seems that it boils down to possibility of three things really. Maybe four. Battery, which we've already ruled out. Starter solenoid, which I don't believe it's that, because that is you can hear the motor, the actual starter motor trying to turn. Dodgy starter motor, could be. Maybe I've burnt it out, maybe it's just given up, you know. And the last one, seized engine. Obviously I'm hoping it's not going to be the last one. So what I'm going to do is, before we do anything else, try and get it in the highest gear possible and see if we can't roll it backwards and forwards. I might just whip the plugs out to remove any compression as well, and just make sure that the engine is still turning. If it isn't, then well, we're just gonna have to deal with that, aren't we? Okay, let's crack on and see how we get on. Okay. So okay, I can't get it into any of the higher gears. Now, I don't think that's anything to worry about, because that was a bit of a... I thought that might be a problem when I bought the bike and I had it running, and it was really difficult to get into second, third, etc. But I fannied around with it for a bit, and it did. So I'm not too concerned at that. What I do think though is that the starter is stuck in. So I don't think it's disengaged. Hear that? So I don't think the engine's seized. I think it's that the starter is stuck in somehow. So let's research that and have a look. So, starter motor's out. Feels quite free actually, so I'm not too sure about that. Let's just give the bike a bit of a rock backwards and forwards. Let's hope the engine isn't seized up. Right, so the engine's definitely not seized. It's now in fourth, something like that. And as you can see, I can hear the pistons shooting up and down. So I don't know what's wrong with it. Maybe something to do with the solenoid isn't allowing it to disengage. I don't know. We'll clean it up though while we've got it off. Okay, so just about to put the starter motor back in, and I thought before I do, I'll clean up the connectors, and before I put it in, just connect it and then press the start button and see what we get. So it's all connected up, and it's just so what's that then? Dodgy starter solenoid? Because it's not even tickling the starter motor at all, isn't it? Nothing getting through to it at all. Sorry, I'll refit the starter motor, get the engine case back on, and then we'll fanny around with the solenoid. So, what we've got here is a classic case of the bike yanking my chain. Plugs are back in, everything's on, all connected up. Give it a bit of choke. I don't think any fuel's getting through. Not bad, eh? So I think it's one of the plugs around this side that's not firing. So I'm just going to whip it out, see if we've got a spark. Fuel tank leak seems to have sorted itself out, so that's all good. I'm just saying that there won't be a lot of fuel in it now. I noticed on yesterday's video you could see fuel leaking from under the carbs, so probably something I was doing. So Yeah, it's not a brilliant spark, but it's a spark nonetheless. Got maybe a little close. Hey, so there you go. Running, a little bit of a misfire, but running nonetheless. Starter motor, seem to have sorted that problem out. I'm not too sure what we've done to sort it out, but it seems to be alright now. All I've really done is cleaned everything up and, you know, cleaned the connections up really. Maybe it was just a bad connection, I'm not too sure. But, I don't know. Anyway, so it's working at the moment. That's all for today. I've got some other stuff I need to go and do. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've liked the fact that the 550 is now back to life. In the next video we'll be getting the rest of the wiring sorted out so we can get the body panels on. But I think I might either tomorrow or Monday work on that misfire a bit and just see if we can't sort something out with that. I've got on order from Amazon, which should be here tomorrow, one of those, you know, like a temporary fuel tank thing, you know, the ones that you can hang from the ceiling with just the pipe, because it's a bit of a pain getting the main fuel tank on and off, and I don't want to risk chipping it any more than it's already chipped, so that'll be quite handy. So I'll bob that on tomorrow whilst we're, or you know, when I'm doing it, so we can test the misfire or test for the misfire and what have you. You know, on that cylinder that I thought it was, the plug, I mean they look quite old, but it was good spark nonetheless, and I cleaned it and gapped it, so it should be fine. But I'll probably treat it to a new set of spark plugs. Ooh, get me. And but you know, it's probably the carbs, isn't it, really, thinking about it. You know, it has been run for so long. It's probably some crap in the carbs. I did try, I only had a little tiny bit of it left, but I had got some of that, I suppose it's a lazy thing, but carb cleaner, the one that you spray into the air intake. Well, it's quite handy on this, isn't it, with the cone filters. I can actually spray it directly into each carb, so but it was literally just a quick squirt on each one. Maybe it'll just get better as the new fuel runs through it, so I don't know. We'll worry about that later, but at least it's running. It's definitely not a one cylinder that's not firing at all, because all of the downpipes are hot, and Tom had already tested to make sure there was good spark, so I don't think it's anything to do with that. I'm sure it's just a tinkering issue. So next thing, have a bit of a look at the misfire, but I'm not too concerned about that at the moment. But get the rest of the wiring done, and yeah, get some panel work back on it, and then we can sort of start to evaluate where we are and have a think about how much needs doing and what needs to come off again to be done. And I don't mind doing that. I'd rather do that, to be honest with you. I'd rather sort of bob it back together now, so I can see what I've got that's missing, I can see what I've got that really needs more work, and we can go from there. But I'll also look this week to getting it registered, because it's now 40 plus, so it can be registered a vehicle as historic interest, VHI, which means no tax and no MOT, which is good for me. So and then maybe get some insurance on it and go out on it. Ooh, that'll be fun. I can't wait to be doing that. I'm sure we'll get some, you know, when I go out on the RD350, it's a funny story actually, where I went to Wales just for a run round, and I went down to I don't know, mid-Wales somewhere on the RD. And on the way back, there was the police had closed the road because they were bringing a wind turbine down. So they stopped all the traffic and they filtered all of the bikes through to the front. That's what the police did. So they got all the bikes to the front, and I'm there and I pulled up, and all of the other bikers got off and all came and looked at the 350. And back in the day I had one of these, and it's so nice. It's really nice to see that, and I like it because it's not a pristine example. It's got some of the original paintwork on the wheels and what have you. So it's not absolutely pinch perfect, and what do they call it? A patina. So yeah. So I think I'll get the same sort of interest when I take the Z out, to be honest with you, because it's gonna look a treat when she's out there. I need to get that back tyre swapped because it keeps going down. I've got a Z550 back wheel in the spares somewhere with a good tyre on, so I might see if that holds pressure, and if it does, I might swap that over. But you know what? I'm quite taken by that exhaust now, looking at it, but I think we'll stick to what we've said we're going to do, and get the other one made. But yeah, so we just need to crack on with it, really. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've got a bit of enthusiasm with me, because to see it running, to know the engine isn't seized, and it's virtually on the road, isn't it, really? Other than a bit of wiring, it's virtually back on the road. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much for sticking with me. I knew we would start to get there in the end with the 550, and thank you very much for those that have been waiting for new videos on the 550. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't already, please do subscribe and give me a big thumbs up if you're liking the videos. It really does help the channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.